What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another UFC prediction video. Today we're talking UFC 308. Oh my god, what a card. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway, live from the Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi, and I don't have to stay up till 2:30 in the morning to watch this. Yes! Ah, it's a miracle. If only I lived on the West Coast for watching these cards, if only. Oh, I'd probably be down bad if I was in Vegas, because all the damn casinos are there, but we have a massive, massive card coming up from Abu Dhabi, and here are my picks and predictions for UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. In our first fight of the night, Shara Magomedov takes on Armen Pietzoyan in a, I believe, oh, it's a 185 fight? Man, I thought Shara Magomedov was lighter than that. My camera is too far up right now. Is that better? Oh my god, technical difficulties. Nope, okay. But there we go, that'll do. No, that won't do. Oh my god, I should cut this, but I won't. But anyway, it's funny to look back on, but Shara Magomedov and Armen Pietzoyan are both heavy strikers who are going to look to finish this fight. Both have knockout power. We've seen both of them win knockouts in the past. Shara Magomedov only has one eye because of this. Like, dude's an animal. He's fighting another guy from Armenia, so they're guaranteed to both be animals. So, we all know about Magomedov. He is an absolute brute of a human being, and I expect nothing less from him in this fight. I feel like this card every year is virtually based around these Muslim-based Russians. So, give me Shara Magomedov, man. I do think Magomedov's going to have a good time with this fight. Pietzoyan, he's someone I haven't really watched a lot of yet. He's definitely, from what I've seen, he's a good mover. He's got good footwork, good boxing. He can defend the takedown if maybe. I can see Magomedov going for a takedown at points, but I'm going to take Shara Magomedov to win this fight, and I'm going to say he takes it by, let's go with a third round TKO. I just think this guy's too much of a brute, and with it being in his own backyard, I think that's going to help him a lot. Next up, in our second fight, Magomed Ankalaev takes on Alexander Rakic at 205 pounds. This could easily be a #1 contender fight at 205 pounds. We're waiting for the next challenger for Alex Pereira after he just beat, what's his face? Khalil Roundtree. Couldn't think of his name for 2 seconds, but this should be a very interesting fight, man. It's a strikers versus grappling matchup. I mean, I honestly do think Magomed Ankalaev has enough skills to hang with Rakic on the feet, but I'm still gonna say Rakic has the advantage on the feet. So, this is, you know what, to be honest, this is a really compelling fight. Ankalaev has won most of his fights by KO or TKO, so, man, I tell you what, for those who like a good stand and bang kind of card, the UFC might just have the card for you this weekend. This is a pretty damn stacked card. Both of these guys have a very similar fight time. Ankalaev is actually a -300 favorite, man. Wow. I mean, judging by Rakic's last performance against Prohaska, this could be a very tough fight for him, in my opinion. This could be a very tough fight, especially looking back at that Yuri performance. He had 2 years off beforehand, but Ankalaev's been on a dominant run. Ankalaev's coming off wins over the likes of Johnny Walker. Well, in my opinion, Johnny Walker twice because of the do not contest or whatever. He had the draw against Jan Blachowicz. I think he won that fight. Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Volkan Ozdemir. You know, apart from the draw and no contest, I think Ankalaev's been on a great roll, and Rakic is going to have to bring something special in the octagon on Saturday night, in my opinion, if he wants to stop at Magomed Ankalaev. So, it's a very compelling fight, but Ankalaev does walk around a lot heavier than Rakic. That's very interesting. Does Rakic actually fight at his natural weight? That's rare nowadays in today's UFC, but I do think Rakic stands a lot better of a chance than what the bookies are giving him, but I'm going to take Magomed Ankalaev. I don't see him finishing Alexander Rakic, but I do see him getting the decision win. And yeah, man, Ankalaev's a beast. Rakic is a beast too, but I don't think he's as much of a beast as Magomed Ankalaev. On to the next. And next up, we have a featherweight bout between Englishman Lerone Murphy takes on our first Hawaiian of the card, Dan Ige. And this is a very compelling fight. This is probably the toughest test Lerone Murphy's come up against in his UFC career. I mean, he did just face Edson Barbosa, but in my opinion, Barbosa is not what he used to be. The 145 Barbosa is not the 155 Barbosa from 5-6 years ago. I mean, he can still chop your legs up, he can still brutalize you, but it's not the same Barbosa as 5-6 years ago, in my opinion. And looking at it statistically here, I think Lerone Murphy stands a lot of physical advantages. I mean, Dan Ige, we all know about his literally day of step up on International Fight Week to fight Diego Lopez. Like, I have nothing but respect for this guy. I really do. This fight actually got canceled, I believe, in February. I can't remember what happened, but this fight should have happened back in February. It's happening now. I'm glad we do get to see this fight because this is a compelling matchup. And it's a good test for Murphy too, because he's going to fight someone who's going to be on the front foot, who's going to eat his shots. He's not afraid to take one to give one. It's a very compelling fight here, especially for the side of Murphy. And to be honest, I can see Dan Ige trying to take this fight to the ground. I really do. I see Dan Ige trying to take this fight, just try and get on top of Murphy, suck all the life right out of him, and take his chances when it comes. I really do think this fight, on a grappling perspective, sets up well for Dan Ige, but in my opinion, a lot of this fight comes down to how well can Lerone Murphy defend that takedown. Because if Murphy can defend that takedown against Dan Ige, I think that sets up for him well on the feet. He's got reach, he's got height, and I think he's got a good, decent boxing and kickboxing skills to beat Dan Ige, catch him at angles, catch him at range, and I do think Lerone Murphy's going to win this fight. I think it's going to be a split decision. I do think Dan Ige is going to give him a lot that Murphy can handle. This is going to be a big learning fight for Lerone Murphy, but I do think he'll step up to the test, and the Englishman will get the job done. My God, man, the good fights do not stop there. Robert Whittaker takes on Khamzat Chimeav. Oh, this fight was so good. This is such a good fight. Whittaker, 27-7, takes on the undefeated 13-0 Khamzat Chimeav, and dude, please just let Khamzat get to the ring. Please, I beg of you. When was Khamzat's last fight? I believe it was Usman a year ago. That was the last time we seen Chimeav, because who was Chimeav supposed to fight then? It was Costa, but Costa pulled out. That's right, I'm starting to remember this now. And because Islam was supposed to fight Charles. Charles backed out. Volkanovski stepped up on 10 days notice. We don't really need to talk about that because that brings up bad memories as UFC fans. And then Chimeav had to face Usman because Paulo Costa pulled out right at the exact same time. And that whole card was virtually in a frenzy a year ago today, roughly. But that card was actually a year ago today as of recording this. Holy God, it's been a year since Volkanovski got knocked out by Islam. But man, this is a very decent fight. This is a very decent fight. I mean, watching the countdown and all this stuff, the intent is there from Chimeav to put the pace on Robert Whittaker and get the takedown. We knew that's what he was going to bring already from the start, but he's putting his mindset out there. He's going to look to take Robert Whittaker down. He's going to look to smash him. He's going to look to control him, and he's going to look to have a decent night against the Australian. But man, Whittaker, if anybody can take a beast, it's Robert Whittaker. Robert Whittaker he doesn't look like a machine, but the dude just is a machine. I don't know what it is about him. Can do anything under the sun. I mean, if you can stop Yoel Romero's takedowns and Jacare's and Brunson's and oh God, I'm trying to think of who else Whittaker fought back in the day, but I mean, obviously the division's gotten more talented, it's gotten stronger, so he's faced losses to the likes of Izzy and Drickus. So it happens, you know? I tell you what, if Khamzat gets past this fight, I am really, really compelled to see how him versus Dricus goes. I am very, very compelled to see that fight. But it looks like Dricus versus Strickland will be the fight at the moment, but at current recording, Robert Whittaker stands in Khamzat Chimeav's way. Honestly, I do really rate Whittaker's chances in this fight. I really do. I think Whittaker's striking technically is much better than Chimeav's. I mean, Chimeav does have pretty technical striking, but he just relies on the pure pace and overwhelmingness of his striking to take guys out of there and just completely force them on the back foot and work his advantages from there. I will say Chimeav isn't as tall or doesn't have the height advantage that I thought he would against Whittaker. Chimeav being 6'2", Whittaker being 6 foot. So it's gonna be an interesting fight here. It's gonna be a very interesting fight. I do think this fight will see the final bell. I am gonna take Khamzat Chimeav. I'm interested to know if this is 5 rounds or not. Is it a 5-round fight? Robert Whittaker. How many rounds? That's what I want to know. It is a 5-rounder. Okay, that's interesting, man. Back in the day, these fights in co-mains were never 5-rounders, so that's really compelling nowadays. But I do think Khamzat Chimeav will win the fight. I just think he's going to be a little too much for Robert Whittaker. Love Robert Whittaker, but I do see Chimeav getting the win here. And I'm going to say Chimeav gets out a nail-biting split decision. Could be fight of the night, this one. Oh boy, I knew I had to get to this moment, but my god, I did not want to get to this moment. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Like, I'ma just put it to you this way, right? I really like Ilia Topuria. I think he's a dog. He is one of the baddest mother effers I think I've ever seen enter the UFC. He can talk his shit and he can back it up. That's one thing I love about Ilia Topuria, and he fights like a gangster. I will say that. He has the attitude and the willingness of a gangster, and that's what I love about Ilia Topuria. But I just love Max Holloway, man. So nice of a guy, so upbeat. The current BMF, he is a BMF, he's an NMF and a BMF, man. He's gonna step up anytime, any weight, anywhere. Champion at multiple different weight classes. This dude is a dog, man. This dude is an absolute dog. Kicks from hell, back fist from hell. This guy is a true mixed martial artist, in my opinion. Max Holloway, man, I can't say enough good things about this guy. I know I am a massive Blessed fan, but like, even still, there's so many good things you can say about Max Holloway. He's so talented, so gifted on the feet. Like, who expected Max Holloway to absolutely dominate Justin Gaethje like he did, and then give him a chance to actually beat him, and then have Holloway knock Gaethje out in the last second of the fight? Like, that is the most badass shit I've ever seen in my life. I will never forget my reaction to that to this day. That knockout over Gaethje, like, oh my god. And that's actually what I really like about Holloway lately, is he's getting the knockouts. He's got 2 back-to-back knockouts over Korean Zombie and Justin Gaethje. He didn't get the knockout against Arnold Allen and Yair Rodriguez. He absolutely decimated Yair Rodriguez, looking back at those fights. And yeah, those were all fights. Like, the only guy Max Holloway has lost to at 145 is Alex Volkanovski. And Ilia Topuria knocked out Alex Volkanovski. I mean, I will say, I don't think Volkanovski should have fought Topuria so close after his knockout after he got knocked out by Islam. But, man, like, this is such a good fight, man. This is such a good fight. Topuria's got so many great wins. I know I spent a lot of time talking about Max Holloway, but Topuria's got great wins over the likes of Bryce Mitchell, and who else is on that resume? Obviously Volkanovski, Josh Emmett's on that roster. Like, Topuria's racking up the wins. He had a phenomenal knockout of Jai Herbert. He beat Ryan Hall, which isn't an easy win in the slightest. And Yeah, man, Ilia Topuria is just a straight up gangster. I will say, I don't think this is the last fight we'll see between these two. I really do believe we'll see these two fight again. Even if Max wins this time, even if Ilia wins this time, we could see a couple of fights between these two, in my opinion. These two are just a match made in heaven, in my opinion. It's just, I really do. I feel like this is a featherweight rivalry for the ages. But they're even in reach, you know. That's interesting. Holloway's got 4 inches in height, but that reach advantage is going to be something. Holloway, I feel like Holloway's going to have to use his kicks a lot in this fight. Leading T-kicks, spinning back kicks, heel kicks, whatever he's got in the book. He's got everything in his arsenal, man. And I feel like he's going to have to use it all in this fight. And I will say, the last time Max Holloway fought in the Etihad Arena, it was the best performance I think I've ever seen out of Max Holloway. That Calvin Kattar fight. Whew. Anyone who wins 50-42 on a scorecard, oh my god, dude, that's nuts. But so many good things to say about both of these guys. Massive fans of them both. And at the end of the day, I just hope the best man wins. I will say I am rooting for Max Holloway, but at the end of the day, may the best man win. I will be a little biased. I am rooting for Max, but I respect the hell out of Topuria. I really like the guy. I think he's a gangster, but I wish both fighters all the best. Who will we take for UFC 308? Oh man, I gotta say Max Holloway. My gut is telling me Topuria. My gut is telling me Ilia Topuria is gonna win this fight, which is probably true. But I can't not rock with Blessed Holloway, man. The dude is just too good, and who knows, man? This might even be his last chance at the featherweight title. I do think he can work his way back up to it because he can just beat every other contender, in my opinion. Hell, he might even have a chance of beating Volkanovski now. But we'll see. It is what it is. Not to quote Max Holloway there, no pun intended, but it is what it is. But will the Blessed Express continue, or will the Spanish demolition train run through Honolulu, Hawaii? Well, just Hawaii in general, to be honest, but we will see. It's gonna be a banging Saturday night live from the UAE. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment down below, tell me what you thought of this episode and why. Subscribe, notifications turned on so you never miss a future upload, and don't forget to join the Patreon for early access to all this content and so much more. Oh guys, I will see you in the next episode of these UFC predictions, where we talk John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, live from the Mecca, Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. Take care and peace.